Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on the Jubilee theme of Christ our hope, we now consider two miracles that reveal the healing power born of faith in Jesus.
What if a lost homily from a well-loved pope held the key to how we can be healed by Jesus? In a powerful address to a live general audience, Pope Leo XIV reveals a direct path to transformation. We're going to step into that audience right now. We have a recording of a powerful homily, a live address given before a massive general audience. Pope Leo XIV begins his address with a familiar papal greeting, "Dear brothers and sisters." You can almost hear the crowd, the thousands of pilgrims hanging on his every word. He even welcomes the English-speaking visitors from all over the world, from Swatini and Ghana to the Philippines and the United States of America. He proposes to discuss two specific miracles. Miracles, he says, reveal the healing power born of faith in Jesus. So let's join that audience. Let's listen to the first story he tells, a story of profound human suffering and divine intervention. He speaks of a woman. For 12 long years, she was defined by her illness. The Pope tells his audience that she was suffering from an illness that had led her to be shunned by society as unclean. Imagine him painting this picture for the crowd. 12 years. Over 4,000 days of being a social and religious outcast. She was isolated, impoverished, and alone. But she heard of Jesus, and as the Pope explains, a desperate, powerful seed of faith began to grow in her heart. He says to the crowd, trusting that Jesus has the power to heal her, she reaches out to touch him. He presents this not as a simple gesture, but as the ultimate act of a woman with nothing left to lose. Now, picture the scene as the Pope describes it. Jesus is in a chaotic, dusty crowd, and this one woman is driven by a singular, electrifying thought. If I can just touch his clothes, I will be healed. The tension in his telling of the story is immense. She is unclean. By touching Jesus, she was breaking a serious social and religious taboo. She could face public shame. She pushes through the throng, invisible, silent, every fiber of her being focused on that one goal. The Pope would have emphasized that dozens of people were brushing against Jesus, but her touch was different. It wasn't an accident. It was a transmission of pure faith. It was a silent, desperate prayer. She does it. Her fingers graze the edge of his cloak. Instantly, she feels the healing. The bleeding stops. She is whole. But the Pope's story doesn't end there. This is the first breakthrough. Jesus stops and asks, "Who touched me?" The woman, trembling, falls at his feet and in front of everyone declares what she did and how she was healed. And here, the Pope delivers the first key insight to the audience. He doesn't shame her. He calls her daughter and says her faith has healed her. The Pope's analysis is crystal clear, and because of her faith, she is healed. He then gives the audience a powerful formula. Whenever we reach out to the Lord in faith, He in turn touches us, and His grace begins mysteriously to change the course of our lives. A breakthrough for her becomes a lesson for all. The Pope then transitions to a second story, one that confronts the ultimate human tragedy. He speaks of the faith-filled plea of a distressed father whose young daughter is dead. This is what he calls an apparently hopeless situation. There is no greater human despair than the death of a child. The professional mourners are already at the house, wailing. By all human standards, it is over. Jesus is told not to bother coming anymore. The tension is no longer about healing a sickness. It's about reversing death itself. Pope Leo presents this as the ultimate test of faith. When logic says it's over, faith is called to its highest purpose. They arrive at the house. Jesus takes the little girl by the hand and says, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And she does. This is the second, greater breakthrough. Pope Leo XIV draws a powerful conclusion for the thousands listening to his voice. He says these two stories teach us to be unafraid to turn to Jesus in prayer and to entrust ourselves to the healing power of his love, which can transform apparently hopeless situations and even bring life out of death. So we have this incredible homily filled with such wisdom. The power is in the message, not the messenger's name. The core insight is this: faith is an active, daring reach towards Jesus. It's believing when there is no logical reason to believe. The Pope's lesson, whoever he was, is that we must entrust ourselves to a love that is more powerful than our suffering, more powerful than our isolation, and even more powerful than death itself. And that's it for today. May God bless you.